I need help.
This is our last episode about the Gold Rush. A great person by the name of Ty,
That whistle off in the distance.
is going to show us some really old pieces of machinery. That's the only clue that I will give to you.
Presents?
And trust me, again, the sisters are going to make my life difficult. Let's watch and learn.
In our previous episodes, we learned all about the history of the Gold Rush and how Sacramento was the commercial center of all of it. Remember how
Let's try that again, okay?
Remember how I looked when I had gold fever? I know, it was not a pretty sight. Also, the sisters were kind of acting strange too. Today, we're going to focus on something related to the Gold Rush, but completely different.
Now you better run.
Chugga, 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 chugga. That's right, it's a train, but not just any train. I'm talking about a super old train.
But let's go back a little bit. The discovery of gold next to Sutter's Mill in January 1848
I found gold! I found gold!
was to become a crucial turning point for the future of California. It started the famous Gold Rush. California became a state in 1850, leading to the construction of the beautiful state capitol. If it wasn't for the discovery of gold in California, there would have been very little interest in building a transcontinental railroad to bind the nation together.
And that's why we're here at the California State Railroad Museum to learn the details of the fascinating history of trains. All aboard!
Say hello to Ty.
Hi, I'm Ty. I'm the director of the California State Railroad Museum in Old Sacramento, California. We're at the mile marker 0 of the beginning of something that changed the United States forever, the Transcontinental Railroad, and it all started here and built that way.
Whoa, this is pretty cool. I actually thought that guy was real for a second. All right, so what are we looking at?
Well, we're right in what we call the Transcontinental Gallery, and the whole world came to California during the Gold Rush. The only way to really get here was to walk really far overland or to sail by ship, and it was a difficult journey to get here. So the purpose of the Transcontinental Railroad was really to connect California to the rest of the United States.
You couldn't fly, right?
No,
No.
not unless you flap your arms really fast.
Yeah, I guess if you had a family that lived on the other side of the United States, once you moved away, that was kind of it.
Yeah,
It's too hard to go back home.
Yeah.
I mean, you may see them in a decade.
Dear friends, I confess, before I came here today, I was very impressed with trains. I liked them. But now, I love them. I love them. I love trains. Please don't tell the sisters.
The big story of building the Transcontinental Railroad from California to the interior of the United States was getting over the Sierra Nevada mountains. It was a huge deal. It was very difficult terrain. Imagine they had to dig 16 tunnels through solid granite. It's easier said than done. All of the backbreaking labor of getting through the Sierra Nevada mountains, and you see it depicted here in this mural, was done by Chinese workers. And they didn't have a lot of technology. You know, today we have, you know, big hydraulic drills and things like that. They didn't. They had what was called a star drill, and there's actually one of them over right there. You see that big piece of metal with that plus on the end, right? And so if I was brave enough, I would hold the star drill, and you would hit it as hard as you could, right? And then I'd turn it a quarter, and then you'd hit it as hard as you could, and then I'd turn it another quarter, and you'd hit it as hard as you could, and you multiply that by about 1,000,000 times, and about 16 hours all day long to drill in to the granite to make holes into which you could stuff black powder that you would explode. And guess how much progress we would make on the face of a rock like this in one day? Any guesses?
Feet?
A few feet?
Yeah, I think so.
No, a few inches.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes their progress was measured in an inch a day. Some of the tunnels that they dug took a year and a half to build. Can you imagine the commitment of these Chinese men who are working in doing the backbreaking labor of that, day in and day out, 7 days a week, over and over and over again?
So school doesn't sound so bad, right?
No, 6 hours.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Before the Transcontinental Railroad, before the development of railroads, you maybe live in a small city. And your world is fairly small, right? Because of your ability to communicate with people. You might be able to send a letter. It might take a month or two to get to where it's going. And all of a sudden, because of this new internet, and that's what it was, an interconnection of the United States. Can you imagine seeing, you'd hear it and you'd smell it before you'd see it maybe. That whistle off in the distance, the big billow of smoke and steam from the coal, and this big hunk of metal rolls right in through your town. It wasn't just metal. It wasn't even about the technology of the train. It's what it brought with it. Passengers, the ability for a family to visit you.
Grandma! Grandma's coming! I see the train! Do you think she brought presents? I didn't see her. There she is! She's coming around the corner! Grandma! 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 You're not Grandma! I'm not a Grandma.
No, I'm not grandma.
Did you bring us presents?
No.
Oh.
Mail, the ability to send things back and forth within the space of weeks, where it once took a month. The ability to order something from New York or Chicago in a catalog and have it arrive to your home in a matter of a week or two.
Surprise, surprise. I've lost the sisters again. On a train.
I lost the girls. I don't know where they're sitting. There you go. Well, I found them.
We got you.
Found them. I guess this is my seat.
The train, although it's made up of metal and steel and brass and all of the parts that make it move, the train symbolized something much different for people of the United States in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s. What it meant was connectivity, and what it meant was freedom.
And with those words from Ty, we are wrapping up our Gold Rush series.
What did I do? I haven't done anything wrong.
Am I safe now? Please, no more tricks, guns, water,
I saved his life.
fire. This is the last Gold Rush episode. Can we just have a normal goodbye? Let's give it a try.
So, Kevin, that was our last episode on the California Gold Rush. Have you become any smarter? He doesn't look any smarter.
Oh, girls, come on. I feel like I've learned so much. And I just want to say thank you for co-hosting the show with me.
Sure, no problem.
But now you better run.
I guess it is too much to ask. Here I am, running for my life. Although I know for sure that the sisters are simply playing around. Those aren't real guns. Or are they? Anyway, thank you for watching our Gold Rush series from Sacramento, California. In the next episode from Sacramento, we are going to the countryside up in the mountains to make some delicious food. Be sure to keep watching.